I asked when the wedding is, and my daughter-in-law said we got married yesterday, and in that moment time froze the kind of silence that doesn't come from confusion, but from a quiet storm inside the heart. I smiled, not because I knew what to say, but because I didn't know how to react. How could I, one sentence, change the entire rhythm of our family's story? You spend years imagining a day, the flowers, the guests, the laughter echoing through the house, the proud tears in your eyes as you see your son standing at the altar. And then, all at once, that moment comes and goes. Without you, not stolen, not lost, just chosen differently. My son and his love decided to begin there forever. Quietly, without a crowd, without an announcement, without us. Some might call it impulsive, some might call it selfish, but maybe it was simply theirs. I remember the first time I met her, she had the kind of calm presence that made the room feel balanced. Not loud, not overly sweet, just quietly kind. And now she is not just the woman in my son's life, she is family. When she said the words, "We got married yesterday," her face wasn't shy or defensive. It was peaceful, like someone who had finally stepped into the place she belonged. My heart wanted to react, but my soul told me to wait. We always think we are the main characters in our children's stories, but sometimes we are just the witnesses to the chapters they write on their own. That night I couldn't sleep. I walked through the hallway where his childhood photos still hang, his first steps, his first school day, the time he fell off his bike and cried, until I picked him up. In all those memories, I was always there. And suddenly, for one of the biggest moments of his life, I wasn't but then I thought maybe that is what growing up really means. Maybe love doesn't always come with a grand invitation or a perfect moment. Maybe it is just two people deciding that forever starts now, even if no one was watching. In the morning, I made coffee. The sun was spilling into the kitchen, like nothing had changed. But everything had, I called them. She picked up, her voice was soft, almost unsure. I said, "I am happy for you." And I meant it, not because I didn't wish to be there, but because I realized something. Love isn't about the ceremony. It is about the courage to commit, even when no one is clapping. They told me about their small ceremony in the park. Just the two of them, and a stranger who married them. No decorations, no photographer, just wine and a promise. I imagined it, the sound of leaves rustling, the nervous laughter, the simple joy of saying "I do" without needing anyone's approval. And I smiled. We often hold on too tightly to how we think things should happen. We forget that life has its own script. It doesn't to always wait for us to be ready. Sometimes it just happens quietly, and all we can do is embrace it with grace. When I finally met them again a few days later, I saw something different in my son's eyes, a calm maturity, like a man who has stepped into his own skin. And when he looked at her, it wasn't just love. It was understanding, that quiet kind of bond that doesn't need to be performed, just lived. She walked over, hugged me, and whispered, "Thank you, not for anything I had done, but for accepting what I didn't understand at first." And I realized that that's what family really is. It's not about control or tradition or being present for every milestone. It is about love that adapts, that forgives, that welcomes. Maybe we all have moments like this where life surprises us, forces us to grow softer instead of harder, where disappointment turns into understanding, and understanding turns into peace. I look at them now, building their little world together, and I feel something I didn't expect: pride. They didn't wait for the perfect timing, they didn't need permission. They simply chose love in its raw, imperfect form, and that when it hit me, the real beauty of a wedding isn't in the guests or the flowers or the speeches at Ankas, and the courage to promise forever, even if no one has watching. So when people ask me now, how was the wedding? I smile. I tell them it was quiet, simple, unexpected, and absolutely beautiful. Because it wasn't about us, it was about them. Sometimes the most important stories don't begin with applause. They begin with silence. And in that silence, love finds its truest sound. When she said we got married yesterday, she was not hiding anything. She was simply telling me the truth, in the only way she knew how. And though a part of me wished I had been there, a bigger part of me knew they had done it right in their own way. Now when I think about them, I don't see the missed ceremony. I see two souls walking hand in hand, creating something sacred and real. And maybe one day when they tell their children the story, I'll say we didn't have a big wedding, we just had love, and that was enough. And when they say that, I hope their children understand that sometimes the quietest beginnings echo the loudest through time. Because love doesn't need an audience, it just needs two hearts brave enough to say yes.